So I guess I'm filming on my phone because my iPad is completely out of storage again. I really have to get an updated plan or something for my iPad because I can't make any more iMovies, I can't edit videos, I can't download more apps. I can't really do anything on my iPad anymore because except for use the internet and use YouTube because I'm out of storage, and so it doesn't really allow me to do much of anything actually. But I guess that's part of the deal is like we just made a one-time purchase for my iPad and for the warranty on it, which was like a 2-year warranty, which will expire like it actually expires like sometime or well actually expires next year because we got it like exactly 1 year ago. So I got a 2-year warranty, and but like it's common sense that you would need to upgrade your storage every now and then or to buy more storage because it's like you really can't like do anything on your iPad unless you have like a bunch of storage. So I need to do that. But a lot has happened since my last video. Let's see, I can look at my videos on my iPad. I charged my iPad so that I can make a video, but then it's like it says it's out of storage. So my last video, it says it was a month ago, but I think it was actually might have been in February, but I think it was actually like last week of January or something like that. But so the videos I posted back then were how to become an influencer on your social media, and it didn't really have anything to do with the thumbnail or the title, but I just thought it would attract more people if I had something like that. I did take two, my morning routine, January 24th, 2026, and new video. So I had like a couple uploads in the past like 2 months on YouTube, but I wanted to come on here and make a video because I wanted to create a script for my job. And right now I'm on internship, and on internship I'm doing it at a CVS, and I have so I'm done with school officially, but I still have internship for about 4 more weeks. I already did week 1, and week 1 is just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 8:30 to 1:30, and then I'm pretty much done with the work at that point for the week. And then it restarts next week, and I have to come in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it's actually been really good. It's been a good experience so far. I like the pharmacy. It's a little disorganized, and it's not like I started getting allergies like on day 2, and I figure that's from like the germs that are in the pharmacy because everybody's touching like the medications and the packages and the computer software, like the hardware, and like we're all touching the same surfaces. So I figure like it's natural to pick up germs that way, but I hate it when I get a stuffy nose because then as I fall asleep, I have to breathe through my mouth, and then I'll wake up in like the middle of the night and my mouth into my throat is like dry, like bone dry, and I have to get up, and it's really hard to breathe, and I have to get up and like get water. So that's the part that I hate about having a stuffy nose the most, is like when you have to finally go to bed and you can only breathe through your mouth. So, but I figure that's a part of the job, and I figure like if I'm at it long enough, then my body will adapt to the germs in the pharmacy, hopefully. Strain X, CVS pharmacy germs, like I'll just like adapt to it somehow. So, and a bunch of people in there were like sneezing and stuff. So like I already know like it's probably like the allergies I'm experiencing are probably from work. It's either that by itself or it's a combination of like spring allergies, like pollen and stuff. So anyways, I was gonna come on here and make a script. Like the script is something that I explained in my video Take 2, which was 2 months ago. And I explained how I take the transcript, which is just everything I'm saying, from the video and I put it into a Word document and then I print it out. And that helps me to create like a better flow. Helps me get into like a nice kind of mindset for my next video, is like by practicing the video that I posted most recently. And I'll practice the script a bunch of times in order to kind of get a better idea of like my strengths when talking to the camera, and my weaknesses, things that I can cut out of the video and things like that. So yeah. So right now today is Thursday. Let's see, March 19th, Thursday. And right now I'm in the basement with my two dogs and my dog. They just got haircuts. My dog just got haircuts. And I think it's kind of a traumatic experience for them, at least the part where they're kept in a cage for like an hour before their actual haircut. That part might be a little traumatizing for them, but they always come out of it like fine. And they always like, doesn't take long for them to like recover from that experience. So I don't really like the treatment that they get. I don't mind the haircutting part. I just don't like the part where they're kept in a cage for like an hour to an hour and a half before they actually start cutting them. So I wish they would just keep them like in an open like space or room or something like that. But it's really not that bad because I know a lot of dogs don't really have a problem with it. But when you do go into the PetSmart to go to the groomers, like you hear dogs barking in the background, like behind the door. And I'm just like, oh, it's like, it fucking sucks for them, you know? But whatever, it's not a big deal. The whole thing only lasts like 3 hours. And then they're over it like the next day. So it's not a big deal. So, yeah, so since my last video, I haven't graduated yet, but I'm done with the like having to be at school part of school. And then I'm doing my internship for 5 weeks. I just completed week 1. And then graduation is once you complete internship, after your last day, then you're officially done. And they give you a certificate, or they email you like a certificate, or like they mail it to you or something. And it's just a certificate saying that you can work in that job. Now, that doesn't mean I'm in pharmacy tech, so it doesn't mean that I actually can use that to apply to a job. It just means that I have credits and that I graduated from a like a program for pharmacy tech. Which gives me a little bit of like, it helps me get a job because it means that I was trained to do the things that a pharmacy tech can do. And I was, in school for like a year and a half or longer. So that shows that like I put in the effort to get to where I am. And, so if I put that like on my resume, or if I put the certification, like a picture of it, like in my resume, then that might help me get a job. And I think all pharmacy techs have to do that. All pharmacy techs have to go through a program, but some are a lot shorter than others. Some are only like a 6 week or like a 6 month program. Whereas me, I was in school for like a year and I think almost 8 months, like pretty long time for a certification. Now I have to apply for a license through the state website, through like Tennessee state website. I have to apply for a license, pharmacy tech license. Then once I get my license, then I can start applying for jobs. And the license, I think they approve like 99% of people. Like, I'm not sure why I would get denied for some reason, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that so long as you've gotten credits through a program, that they will approve your license. And the only thing that would hold you back is like if you had a criminal record, which I don't. So should all go well. And so I'll be applying for that in the next couple weeks while I'm still on internship. So hopefully I can get my license approved by the time I'm done with internship. Then like right after internship, or even before, if I get my license before, then I can start applying. And there was one person, the person I'm training under right now, who's a pharmacy tech, who's a lead pharmacy technician at CVS, encouraged me to apply to their store because she's like, yeah, you're doing like a great job in your first couple of days. Like, you seem like a reliable person. Like, you should apply here as well as any other place you want to apply to. So I was like, okay, yeah, I definitely will, because I don't like, it's a nice store, like it's a good size. All the people that I worked with over the past 3 days have been really nice and friendly and helpful. And the only part about the internship that disappoints me a little bit is like, it's not really disappointing. It was just kind of like, it was just kind of a moment of realization that in school they didn't train me to do anything on the computer, which is like literally like 50% of the work in a pharmacy is done on a computer. And the computer has all the information that you need for all your patients, or for all the people who are coming to your pharmacy. But it's like, it's kind of a complex system. Like, it's not too complicated, but it, based on what I was reading on the screen, I was like, holy shit, like on literally every window, there's like a shit ton of information. And it's in really small print on the computer, like big enough where you can read it, but small enough to where you actually have to really like zone in and pay attention to like every little detail on screen. I'm just like, shit, like they didn't train us to like do that. Like, they didn't train us on how to use like the information on the computer or anything. They didn't train us to call people. Like, we did do some scripted like run throughs of a call, but that was only like 2 or 3 classes out of like the year and a half. So that was back in customer service. So, but like, they didn't do enough of that. There's a couple things in school that they either they didn't touch on at all, or they only did like a tiny bit of training on. And I'm just like looking back thinking like, fuck, like they really should have trained me to do that, so that from the get-go, from the time I start a job, that I can hop on the computer and do all that work. I mean, the computer essentially at a pharmacy is just a database of all the information of like new and old patients. And it has all their information. It has their address, their date of birth, their phone number. And if anybody leaves a voicemail at the pharmacy, like, you can look at it on a computer. And you don't have to listen to it. You can just, it just puts on the screen like what they said, like a transcript of the voicemail, what they said. I guess it's an AI feature. But so you're reading, like, for a lot of the technicians, like, you're reading like voicemails every day, and then you have to either receive calls from people, like you're picking up the phone and you're receiving a call from a patient, or you are calling a patient and leaving a voicemail with them, or you're getting a hold of them saying like, hey, your prescription's ready, like all this stuff. And we didn't really touch on that at all in school. Like, they trained us in parts of the pharmacy, just not 100% of it. So I'm like, okay, well, that's like, obviously that's a big learning curve that I have to get adjusted to when I start working. I think I'll pick up on it pretty quick. But I would say there's about 10 to 20 different types of windows on the computer that have that the layout of each window is like a little bit different, and it organizes the information differently, and you have to sort through like all this information for all your patients, and you have to make sure that the prescriptions are done on time. You have to make sure that the patient knows that their prescription is ready. You have to answer any questions that they have, like all this stuff. So I was going to make a script for my pharmacy over the next like let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, so 4 days before I start again on Monday. I was going to make a script and this is part of that. I just had to kind of preface it, with some like basic like information. But I think I'll get more into the details of my internship so far in the next video, which I'm going to attach to this. So I'm going to make like, this is already 15 minutes, but I'm going to make like a longer video with all the information on it, and then maybe break it down into several different Word documents so that I can practice it. Another kind of thing that's happened in the past month since my last video was I started talking to this girl from school named Addison, and I call her Addie for short. I thought it'd be kind of cute to give her like a nickname. So I call her Addie sometimes. I call her Addison other times, and then sometimes I call her Addie. And so like the first time we started talking, like I started noticing her because she's a friend of my roommate. And so I started noticing her, and I thought like, man, this girl's like really pretty and she seems really social and cool and everything. But I didn't think like, yeah, I really need to talk to her, like, or I really want to talk to her. Like I didn't really feel the desire to like get to know her at all, because I was like, man, I'm done with school in like 3 or 4 weeks, and like I really shouldn't be focusing on a relationship right now. I should just be focusing on the academic part of school. But like one day I went up to her at dinner, and she was sitting with a friend, Claire, and
yeah. That's bro. It is a thing, I promise.
Hey Claire.
But
Just a second, my sister is here, so I gotta pause my speech. Are those yours?
the what?
The crumble cookies?
Yes.
Could I have like
half of whichever one you want?
Okay.
But I haven't tried them all, so I do want half of.
Oh, okay.
So you can take half of the key lime or the Oreo one.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, is that chocolate one Oreo?
Yeah, it's Oreo cheesecake or something.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you ever had crumble cookie, but it's like super good. So they make these fat ass cookies like this big. And so anyway, so I basically, like, the first interaction I had with her was like nothing special. Like we didn't click or anything. Like I just was talking to her and her friend for like an hour or two, and then I went back up to my room to just kind of watch some anime and fall asleep. And so after that, it was like I spent the whole week like hanging out with her and her friend group. And there's this gay guy, Sean, in the group, but he's like bisexual, and apparently she's bisexual too. She like dated some girl in high school. But so anyways, I started talking to them, and then over the weekend we were texting, and she's like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like, are you bored? And I was like, yeah, I just wish I had someone to hang out with on the weekends. You know, I wish I had a friend to hang out with on the weekends and make the weekend more fun. And she's like, oh, well, when you come back to school, I can cuddle you. And I was like, I never done that with nobody, like in like a public setting. So what she was talking about was like doing it like publicly, like, no, I don't mean publicly. What I mean is like there's an area at school called the TV lounge, which is like where people watch like Netflix and stuff. And that's where all the couples are. And the couples are just like, you know, they got their arm around each other. They're like, you know, tickling each other, like feeling each other, like they're kissing, like they're they're doing their thing, and she's like, "Oh, why don't we sit in that area and I can cuddle you or whatever." And I was like, "Okay." So I thought things were going well, and for the whole week, the whole next week, we would just sit there during lunch, or we'd sit there for several hours after school, and we'd just be cuddling, and like it was nice. And so I thought she was into me. That was the thing, is like what I realized, that she's that way with like all of her friends, but we had spent so much time together in that week. Like we'd spend like 3 hours after school doing that for like 5 days, so that's like 15 hours we'd spent like doing that. And I don't know, it just felt really easy to do, and I would never be comfortable like doing that around other people because I've never done that before. But it was like it just felt like not that hard to do, and like it there was some initial embarrassment doing it in front of other people. We didn't kiss or anything, but we we I had my arm around her, we were hugging. She would be touching my neck and poking me, and I'd be poking her and stuff. And so it was just nice. It was just a nice thing, a little blessing right before the end of school. And so I thought she liked me, but then she tells me, like, so this is week number 3 that I know her. Week number 1, I hung out with her friend group. Week number 2, we were cuddling in like the couples area. Week number 3, I get back to school. She tells me that she made out with her gay friend Sean, or bisexual friend Sean. And she told me that it was really awesome. And I was like, what? I was just so shocked. I was like, I was triggered and I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute, like we just spent all this time like with each other and like talking and like getting to know each other and stuff. And then she does this. And I was like, wait a minute, like, so I guess she's not into me, or she's not like whatever I was thinking was going on was like apparently not going on in her head, even though it seemed to be going that way. Because I was thinking like, okay, I'm gonna graduate, or I'm gonna be done with school in like 2 weeks, and I'm gonna graduate in May. But she lives really close to school, and I do too. Whereas a lot of other people live like hours away. So I was thinking like, man, like we could really like start seeing each other like more often. Like once school is over, like we can start seeing each other, and I could take her out to places, and I could get to know her family and like do all this stuff. I was like, man, this could be like the start of something really freaking awesome. And then that happened, and I just had to hide how upset I was. I just had that kind of like put on like a fake like face and like pretend how like not upset I was. And I thought I handled it pretty well, because right after that happened, I was like, I just stopped talking to her. I didn't like unadd her on Snapchat or anything. And we did text a little bit back and forth, but she started like, I was like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. Like, so like what we have is not like a special thing or something like that. And she's like, well, I'm with that way with everybody, and you don't have to like, she said in her words, she was like, it's not a competition between you and Sean, or between you and another guy, because like I can do that with anybody. And then she offered to like make out with me. She's like, well, I can make out with you if that's what you want. And then I said no, because I was like, that's not really my style. Like I guess we just don't have the same style of like relation, like our relational needs aren't really in the same place. For me, I need someone who's committed to me and what we have, not just having fun with like a bunch of people. So I was like, oh, I just told her, I was like, I think my needs are a little different than yours. And I thought all the physical contact we had meant something to me that I guess it didn't mean to you. And I was just like, okay. And then I told her, I was like, okay, so maybe like, because I was still like really upset, and I let her know like I'm upset. And that was a couple days after she told me. And I was just like, okay, so maybe like this thing is not going to really work out with us, or it's not going to work out the way that I thought. And I was texting my brother because my brother's been with a bunch of people, and he was saying like, don't catch feelings, don't be a simp, like don't get played, like don't let any of that stuff happen to you because that just turns into like a freaking L, and like don't let that happen to you. But I was just like, I don't know, like I was just in my head something was going on, like that felt like authentic, and I wasn't really catching feelings or like simping over her or anything. I was just trying to get to know her, like from like the conversations we're having. I was just trying to get to know her a little bit better and kind of feel out the relationship a little bit. And then I get hit with that news, and then we stopped talking for a couple days, and then I texted my brother. I was like, dude, like what is going on? Like you might have some knowledge about like how this girl thinks, or how like what's driving her behavior, or like stuff like that. And he was basically saying like, yeah, she's just like playing you for like a simp or something like that. Like she probably knows you caught feelings and then like played you. Like that's what he was saying. And I was just like, that might be true, but whether it's true or not, I don't think I decided like at that point I was like, okay, so I won't simp over her. Like I'm not gonna text her saying like, oh, I need you, like I need back like what like we had, um like taking her up on her offer, like, oh yeah, like I totally want to like make out with you. Like I didn't do any of that stuff because I thought like, oh, that's probably what he's talking about. It's probably simp behavior that I shouldn't like give her. Like I shouldn't give her anything like after that. And I told my family that because they're the people who I mainly communicate with when I'm not at school, like on the weekends. First I communicated with my brother because he has some experience and knowledge. Then I communicated with my other brother who doesn't really have a lot of experience in that way, but I just thought like he'd give me a different perspective. And then I told my parents and my sister, and they're like, yeah, dude, she seems like a drama kind of addict, which a lot of people at my school are. They're just addicted to like drama and stuff. So I was like, okay, so maybe I should just leave this thing go. Like maybe I should just let it go. Even though it only lasted like 2 or 3 weeks, like maybe I should just let it go. But something kind of funny happened to where like I said some mean things to her. Because again, I wasn't trying to be a simp. So I said like, hey, I'm upset, but like you're kind of a bitch for doing what you did. And then she started defending herself like more, and then she blocked me on Snapchat. And then a couple days went by, she re-added me, and she was just like, or I told her, I was like, hey, like whatever, I'm over it. Because this was like it wasn't a couple days, it was more like a week later she added me back. And not because I asked her, not because I was like, oh please like add me back. Like we just started talking at school because I saw her at school, and I'd like, this might have been a kind of a simpy thing to do, but like I know she likes energy drinks, I know she likes Monster, and I know which is her favorite Monster. So I stopped by the gas station on the way back to school from my weekend at home, and I bought her a Monster. And she was sitting in the lobby at school, which is like near the entrance. So I come in, I check into school, and then I like went up to her. I was like, hey, do you want this Monster? Like I know this is your favorite flavor. And she took it, and then we started talking. And then she's like, hey, like I'm sorry, like whatever, like if I upset you or something, I didn't like mean to do that. Um and at this point she wasn't really defending herself. Like she did acknowledge that what she did was kind of like dumb, like bitchy, but and kind of out of the blue, because she's never done that with that guy before. So it's like she's known that guy Sean for like almost 6 months, and it's only after that we started talking that she did that. And I'm like, I'm thinking like, okay, maybe she's just desperate for something like a little bit more intimate. And she like offered to do that with me like the weekend before that happened. I just said no because I don't want to like take things super fast or like turn this into something that is like not what I want. And she's like, okay, like that's fine with me. But then like she went to that guy. And I thought like, okay, maybe she's just desperate for some like more intimacy or whatever. And so she apologized and I said it's okay. We started talking again. She re-added me on Snapchat and then we've just kind of been friendly since. And then like last Friday was my last day at school and we talked, we were talking in person a little bit at school before I left. And then she gave me a hug and you know, she gave me a hug. Nothing too like fuzzy, not anything too fuzzy like what we were doing like a couple weeks ago. But she just gave me a hug, and I thought, okay, well that's fine. And my game plan from now on is to just kind of talk to her like casually. And I told her I was like, hey, do you want to hang out at school on Friday when because I have to come back to school tomorrow for a class. I know I said like I'm done with school, and technically I am done with school, but I got to come back to school because they're helping us get our license online. So I have to go back to school for that, and I'll see her at school. So I said like, hey, do you just want to like talk like on Friday when I get back? She said sure. So my game plan is just to be real like casual with her until graduation, and she graduates like 3 or 4 months after I do. And then once she graduates, like Sean will graduate and all of her friends will graduate. And they all live like really far away. So they're going to be going home after graduation and looking for jobs in like their own town. And she lives like really close to me. So my game plan is just to try to talk her up a little bit and try to encourage her to like, I don't know, go out with me or like see me at some point in like where I live, or I'll go over to her place. But I'm gonna wait till like after graduation. So because at that point, like everybody else will be like far away, and she won't have any of those distractions. And like I just want to give her a little bit of space and just talk to her like normally or casually, just keep it real casual. And then kind of try to pursue her like after graduation. Like once she's not at school and she doesn't have her friends, she doesn't have all these distractions, like things like that. Like she's not involved in the drama and like all this shit. So this video is getting to 33 minutes. I think I should cut it there. And then I'm going to film again either later today or I'm going to film like tomorrow. But I want to film over the next couple days and put it into like one long video. Or maybe I should break it up, because maybe it's not a good idea to make like an hour-long video, because obviously no one's going to watch that. So anyways, peace, guys. Peace and love from me to you. Hope you're having a good March. And hopefully the start of spring was nice for you wherever you live. Hopefully it's not too cold. Hopefully it's starting to warm up. And make sure you eat some good food. Make sure you spend some time in nature or hang out with your dogs if you have dogs or cats or whatever. And, like and subscribe. So anyways, peace.